If the given expression to be factored contains two terms with negative sign between them, we see if it is a difference of two perfect squares by comparing it with a square minus b square. Let's take an example. And in this example, we have factorize 4l square minus 9m square. We can see that this polynomial contains only two terms with a negative sign between them. So let's compare it with a square minus b square. So when we compare here, we can see that a is a perfect square and b is a perfect square. So when we compare and write 4l square minus 9m square, we want to see if 4l square can be written as a perfect square. And yes, it can be written as a perfect square of 2l. So we put a bracket and then square minus 3m and then square. It's actually, in fact, we are trying to identify what is a and what is b. If you make a comparison with 1 and 2, it is clear that a is equal to 2l and b is equal to 3m. Now, we know that by formula, since a square minus b square has two factors, a minus b into a plus b. Therefore, 4l square minus 9m square must have two factors, 2l minus 3m and 2l plus 3m. Just like a minus b and a plus b. Let's take a look on another question here. And at this time we are going to factorize 25 minus 36x square. 25 minus 36x square. And we can see that this is a polynomial consisting of two terms with negative sign between them. Therefore, we compare with a square minus b square. In order to make that comparison, we are going to see if 25 minus 36 x square can be written as difference of two perfect squares. So 25 is a whole square of 5 and minus 36 is x square is perfect square of 6x whole square. Therefore, in comparison, we can see that a is same as 5 and b is same as 6x. Since by formula we know that since a square minus b square is equal to a minus b times a plus b, these are the two factors. Therefore, we have two factors, 5 minus 6x times 5 plus 6x. So these are the two factors for 25 minus 36 x square. And let's do another question here. Example, and make sure that when you start question, if there is anything common between two terms, we should take that common right away before doing any other procedure. So here we have a question: factorize 5x4 minus 80y4. Before we make comparison with difference of squares, we can see that 5 is common between both the terms. Therefore, we take that 5 common before making any comparison. This becomes x4 minus 16 y4. And now let's call this number 1. This already has 5 as one factor and x4 minus 16 y4 as the second factor. But we believe that the second factor x4 minus 16 y4 can be further simplified into simpler factors. Therefore, we compare, or if we do directly, we can see that 5 into x4 minus x4 is a perfect square of x square minus, and 16y power 4 is a perfect square of 4y square here. And now, because it's a difference of two perfect squares, therefore we can write it one time minus, one time plus between them. 5 times x square minus 4y square, and one time positive x square plus 4y square. And now if we see at this factor x square minus 4y square, we can apply the same formula one more time, because x is whole square again, minus 4y square is a perfect square of 2y, and there is a negative sign between them. Therefore, we are going to apply the same formula again, and this time we are going to write it 5x minus 2y x plus 2y into x square plus 4y square. So we can conclude from this discussion that if a given polynomial is a difference of two perfect squares, then we can have two factors by adding those two terms one time and one time subtracting. So let's take one last example before we conclude this lesson here. Factorize 2x plus 1 whole square minus 3y plus 1 whole square. We can see that this is a difference of two perfect squares. So one time we are going to write the factor by adding those two terms, and one time by subtracting. So by applying that formula, we are going to say 2x plus 1 minus 3y plus 1, and use brackets outside, and one time plus 2x plus 1, and then plus 3y plus 1, and use those brackets again. You see that we use the same terms, one time by subtracting them, one time adding them. And now we can further simplify within brackets, that is 2x plus 1, and because of this negative sign, the signs inside brackets are going to change. This will become minus 3y minus 1, and then the next 2x plus 1 plus 3y plus 1, and here it will become minus 1 and plus 1 will cancel out. This will become 2x minus 3y into 2x plus 3y plus 2. You can see that whenever there is a difference of two perfect squares, we can make their factors by adding the terms one time and by subtracting the terms one time. This is a very useful technique, and we'll see you in the next video.